and welcome to AZ in the Circle. We are in our third season, kicking it off. Arizona Softball Podcast, where we highlight talented, hardworking softball players and coaches from and in the 48th state. We are thrilled to have two awesome, one future Alabama baller and one current stud at Alabama. I always want to say high tide, but I won't. I'll say roll tide. So I'm super excited to have Jocelyn Briski and her younger sister, Ava Briski.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us here. We're really excited.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. We got 5 questions. We'll keep it simple. We'll ask about, this past club season for you, Ava, and then awesome season that you guys had there. And then, what do you do after the season? What's that look like for you? And then coming off PGF, you had already started school, Ava, so how was that coming? Then we'll go to our sponsor for a break. We'll come back, and my favorite part of the show, our recruiting journey, your recruiting journeys that you get to share with everybody. So we're super excited about that. It's my favorite part of the show. So can you still remember yours?
Yes, I do.
Right, definitely. And then a couple simple questions. What are your keys to your success? And then, hey, I want to know what's on your playlist for on game day in the clubhouse or that kind of stuff. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, let's get it going. Okay, Ava, we'll start with you. Let's recap your club summer season that just happened. You played for Tennessee Mojo. How'd the summer go?
Overall, the summer went really well. I had a total of 5 out-of-state tournaments. I started when I flew into Tennessee. I traveled the entire Southwest. I started from Tennessee, drove all the way down to Texas. We placed top 3 in Colorado, which is one of the greatest tournaments during the season.
Power pool tournament?
Yeah, it's Sparkler.
Sparkler.
Yes. And during PGF, on one of our days off, we had surfing lessons as a team. It was a great bonding experience, and I think it was one of the best experiences I've ever had because I really love the beach. It's one of my favorite places. I created a lot of long-lasting friendships, including Danica Spinagati and Kayla Fletcher. I got to play with one of my future Bama teammates, Anna Roman, and I think the coaches are one of the best coaches I've ever had. They're just very great to the entire team.
The girl from your teammate, you said her name is Anna
Roman.
Anna Roman?
Yes.
Is she a 2026 also?
She's a 2025, so her first year. She'll be a freshman this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So you'll know her. You know this one here.
I know her pretty well.
Yeah.
I guess I know her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you get there as your freshman, she'll be a sophomore. You'll be a senior.
So
I know.
You guys get to play 1 year together.
I played 1 year with her and then 3 years with Anna Roman.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, and what positions does Anna play?
She plays center field.
Okay.
A really great center fielder.
Oh, that's awesome. And then, Jocelyn, recap your actual regular season. A little bit about that.
Yeah, season was great. In my second year, one word that I would kind of describe this season, a year of growth. People always use the term like a roller coaster of emotions, and I kind of really feel like this season was a roller coaster of emotions. Lots of lows, lots of highs. And now being an upperclassman going into my junior year, I thought it was a great year to just learn from and kind of take a lot of things this year and use it next year and to continue to grow as a team. We have a really, really strong senior class this year that I think a lot of leadership is going to come from. A lot of them have been there all 4 years, so they know the Bama standard, the Bama culture, and then also the leadership that I can bring to the bullpen. We have 2 freshman pitchers, so it's going to be really cool to work with them and kind of pick their brain and just hang out with them in the bullpen and kind of see what they have. So this season was great. We made it all the way to super regionals, which was fun. Obviously, the end is making it to the World Series, but we came up a little short this year. And again, I think we'll kind of take that into next season and use it as motivation of getting back to the World Series.
That's good. Even if you do make it to the World Series, then you're still, unless you win it, you're like, I want to get back there.
There's always that last game where you're kind of like, dang, if only we had just a little more.
There was one highlight that we watch you guys. Well, I follow you, Ava, out here on the club circuit, but definitely because you guys both are from Desert Vista High School. That's awesome, Arizona. And there was one series I watched in particular during the regular season. It was near the end too. It was a great series against Oklahoma. You had a big game in there. Tell me a little bit about what you remember from that series with your catcher winning it, the close game.
I feel like that series was kind of a turning point for us as a team as a whole. We kind of were a little bit at that low point, especially the game before, 7th inning, 2-run home run. I was pitching, and I kind of just had to like take a breath. And at this point, like as a team, we kind of talked about like we have nothing to lose. Like just go out there, play free, have fun. And I feel like the sense of fun was missing just a little bit, and we kind of found that fun. I talked with my coaches. I talked with my catcher, Marley. Marley's great. That girl, I'm a little more like low key, like a little more like no emotion in the circle, and she is the complete opposite behind the plate. I mean, she gets me fired up even when I don't want to be fired up. So it's a really great counterbalance between me and Marley. But I would say like that was just a turning point mentally also for us as a team, you know, getting those 2 wins in that series.
After that.
Yeah, really just kind of like propelled us. I mean, the next weekend we go to Florida, and the first game we score 7 runs in the first inning, and you just kind of felt like it was carrying on as the season went on, and it leads to even like regionals and super regionals. I mean, most people didn't even have us coming out of our regional. I mean, we had Virginia Tech that was sent to us that was a predicted host seed, and they were sent to Tuscaloosa. And so everyone was like, Virginia Tech is going to come out of there. And then we beat them both times we play them. So we kind of just like got a chip on our shoulder after that. Like, we can beat the best in the country. Let's play like we're the best in the country. And I kind of felt like that carried on throughout the rest of the season.
Now, Marley, what year is she going to be?
She's a senior this year.
Yeah, so that's really good to have that kind of your field general with that kind of intensity and enthusiasm.
Yeah. She brings like a refuse to lose mentality, refuse to quit mentality. Like she has like red hair, so we call her like a fireball out there. Like she's great. She really is like what that team needs, what our team needs behind the plate.
Whenever she calls a timeout on her own and she starts walking towards the circle, what do you start thinking?
Oh gosh, most of the time she's just kind of there to like make sure I'm doing okay. I can get in my head a little bit sometimes, and so she's just like, what do you need? Like, what do you need from me? Like, hey, you got this. Like, just pumps me up a little bit, kind of gets me out of my own head, and like reminds me to like focus on the game.
That's good. And that's awesome that you pick yourself back up and your teammates picked you up and you came back and you beat those guys in one series.
For sure.
I mean, that's a sign. I've seen the best pitchers always go through adversity, and then they come back and they pitch fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just the way the game is, right?
At that level, at the college level, you got to have a short-term memory. We kind of talk about that a lot. Murph harps a lot on like having a short-term memory. It's a long season. I mean, you could have a terrible regular season, and then postseason, all of a sudden, that's all that matters. It's a new season. There's like 3 separate seasons within the one long season, so it's just really important to have a short-term memory.
First time I've heard someone say that. Because you're right. You're like, it's not really the preseason, but it's the pre-conference games, right?
Yes.
It's not the preseason, but like it counts.
You have pre-conference, and then you have conference, and then you have like the SEC tournament, and then you have postseason. So there's just so many different sections of season where you can't dwell on something that happened in February in May, or you're not going to make it in May. So it's just really having that short-term memory.
That's good. Really good. Okay, and Jocelyn, coming off such an intense season, you know, what have you done this summer after that, what you just said, those four parts of your season, to kind of unwind, recharge your battery, and then the second part to that question, at what time do you start to ramp up, you know, the grind, the strength training, the bullpen session as fall approaches?
Yeah, so thankfully, I love working out. I love strength training. Like when I go to the gym, it makes my day. Like it makes me happy. So I only took about a week off of strength training, and something that I talked with my pitching coach before I left, we made a packet and like we made a plan of things I needed to work on this summer for pitching. And one of them was getting stronger in my legs and my core, because there were a couple mechanical tweaks that I needed to make this summer. And by getting stronger and the base of my mechanics would really help with those mechanical tweaks and just making my life easier, where my arm isn't stressed all the time and where I'm not doing the most to make the pitch spin and stuff like that. So I started like hardcore working out every single day, probably a week after I got home. I got home around May 27th. So first week of June, I was in the weight room hitting it really hard. And then I'd say I took about 3 weeks off of pitching, let my body rest, kind of just like let all the old mechanics leave my body to learn the new ones. I changed my windup this summer, which I'm really excited. This is the best I've felt pitching in a long time. So I'm just really excited to go back and kind of just see how it is against live hitters and everything. But it was kind of a slow progression, did a lot of spin work at first, and then I'd say around last week of June into the first week of July is when I started really hitting it hard, pitching like 3 to 4 times a week. So I've been consistently going there. I see my pitching coach here at home too. We work out a couple things, and then also developing a good off-speed pitch. I feel like that's something I've been missing. So I've been working really hard on the changeups this summer.
Yeah, changeups everything, right?
You got to have a good changeup as a pitcher, man, especially at that level.
It keeps them guessing. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, kudos to you. I heard that before, where people working out say, "Oh, that's not even part. I don't even consider that as part of the grind. It's something they do to keep in shape, and it really helps their athleticism." And to your point, working the core makes any athlete better because it connects the top with the bottom.
The base of what you do. So no, I'm just very thankful that I don't dread going to the gym. Like, I enjoy it, and I feel like that's also helped me in my softball journey throughout the years.
Great. And then Ava, going back, so you had surf lessons at Huntington Beach.
Yes.
Okay. Those are some good waves, and that was just before the U.S. Open, the U.S. Open Championship in surfing.
Yes, I will say you would probably be scared of sharks out there, but the scariest thing is paddling out there. It is like the hardest workout you will ever have in
You're
your
exhausted
entire
before
life.
you get out there.
Yes.
And then you got to try to catch a wave.
Yes, that's probably the funnest part.
Oh, it
trying to
is.
catch a
It
wave.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you get up, it's like
It's
free
so
ride.
fun.
Yeah, you just
Ride
gotta,
all the way to shore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. So you were
She would never surf.
No.
No, you won't catch me in the ocean actually at all.
Okay. Well, that's why you live in Arizona.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
good. Yeah. So, but Bama has some.
Yeah,
it has some shoreline.
It's about 4 hours away. Yeah.
Okay, good. So, Ava, you were still at Huntington Beach, right? And then you started school like the 18th, and then PGF didn't really start till like the 19th or 20th. So, you were a senior back at Desert Vista. They had already started school. How was it coming back after you finished and your classmates were already in school for a week?
Coming back into school wasn't as hard as my other previous years, because my other previous years I had 6 classes, and having that full schedule is really hard to come back from missing a whole week of school. And this year I only have 3 classes. So when I came back, I didn't miss that much work, and all my classes are pretty easy this year. And I didn't have that much to make up. So having that early release definitely helped a lot when I came back. Not that much homework. And the first week is usually when you do icebreakers, just getting to know each other, getting to know your teachers. So the teachers don't really put a lot of hard work on your assignments. So I probably only had, I would say, 2 missing assignments in total when I came back. It's pretty easy.
Oh.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
Desert Vista. Remember that. We don't play softball out here. Well, okay. Let's hear from our sponsor. You guys are doing great. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Home Repairs and Remodeling is proud to sponsor Season 3 of AZ in the Circles podcast. They love the game of softball. Home Repairs and Remodeling has been in business for 20 years, established in 2005. Now, for homeowners looking to remodel their kitchen, who have a vision of this functional, beautiful place to make homemade meals for their loved ones and entertain family and friends, call Home Repairs and Remodeling today at 602-686-8354 or visit their website, homerepairsandremodeling.com. Also, Home Repairs and Remodeling provides a solution to the affordability issue in the Valley by building ADUs, auxiliary dwelling units, basically a second living space situated on the same lot as a primary residence. Think garage conversion to a casita, or a mother-in-law suite, or rental income unit, or guest house. Again, call Home Repairs and Remodeling today. Home Repairs and Remodeling, your vision, our know-how. And we're back. Thank you to our sponsor. We definitely appreciate keeping the lights on here. All right. So the next part is when we ask about your recruiting journey, and we'll start with Jocelyn. Okay. So Jocelyn, think back. It's a long time ago because you're a seasoned veteran at Alabama. Think back to the summer before September 1st. You had just finished your sophomore high school season at Desert Vista. What club team did you play on that summer?
I was on, it was Storm Apple. We were in 16U, but that was our last year of Apple. And that fall, I was going to move to Corey Mathis's 18U Storm team.
Okay. So you're playing for 16U Storm Apple, right? And you're going into an important summer before September 1st. What What were you thinking? What was going to be your approach? Had you talked with your dad, who's stud, he coach, he helps coach you guys, correct? A little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Coach Briski. What were you thinking? What was the approach to that summer?
There definitely was a lot of stress and pressure I was feeling. But what was nice is my coaches were giving me a lot of feedback, which the feedback kind of just helped for like reassurance. Like, you will get calls September 1st. Like, it's going to be okay. And if there aren't, like, that's also okay. So there definitely was some stress. And then, like, the week leading up to September 1st, I remember getting so many texts from people like, hey, like, you got this. Like, or like, people have heard from other people that this school is going to call me or this school is going to call me. So there was a lot of anticipation leading up to it. On September 1st, I stayed up till midnight and I got about 3 calls at midnight and probably like 20 texts at midnight. And when I kind of got that first call, I stayed up till midnight and I was like, what if no one calls me at midnight? And I just stayed up and then I'm sad and disappointed, but it all ended up working out how it was supposed to. And it was a really cool journey.
At what time did Alabama reach out to you?
They called me at midnight. So they were my third call, though, at midnight. I had to decline 2 more because I already accepted. I talked to Oklahoma first. They were my very first call at midnight. And then I had a FaceTime call with Oregon right after. And then I called Murph back after that. And those calls were pretty short, but it kind of was like when they called you at midnight, they were just really showing their interest. Like, hey, because we were on the West Coast and Oklahoma and Alabama were 2 a.m., 3 a.m. where they are. So those are kind of the schools that I talked to at that time.
That's great. And then when you talked to Coach Murph again, you set up a visit to Alabama. Do you remember that visit?
Yes. So Alabama was my 3rd visit of the fall, and the second I got there that night, I remember coming back into the hotel room and I looked at my parents and I was like, I'm coming here.
Was it a Friday or Saturday when you got there?
It was a Friday when I got there. But I didn't tell them that on any of my other visits. And I had this feeling. I can't describe the feeling, but like I knew inside like this was the place I was meant to be. And I'm thankful that I got that feeling because, people always tell you, you'll know when you know, but some people don't know.
In your first 2 visits, you weren't looking for it, but it didn't really hit you.
Yeah.
And then
when I got to Alabama, I was like, so this is what everyone is talking about. Like, when you know. And I knew. And I had 2 more visits set up after that I was like, I've already done 3 visits and I know this is where I want to go. So I canceled the other 2 visits. And then I committed to Alabama 4 days later after the visit.
And did you tell your parents, you told your parents that night, Friday, this is where, and then did you go to a football game the next day?
Yes.
Remember who it was?
They played Southern Miss, so it was like 63-0.
And that's Nick Saban era type stuff.
Yeah. So we left at halftime, and then we went back to one of the girls' houses and kind of just hung out after that.
Good. And then you told your parents you wanted to go. And then how was the conversation with Coach Murphy when you called him?
I called him at like 6 a.m. my time, so it was about 8 a.m. his time. It was cool. He gave me a card when I left my visit. And he said, open this card when you make your decision. And so it was like 1 a.m. and I knew I was calling him the next day. And I was like, I'm opening the card. Like, I woke up and I remembered that I had that card. So I opened it and it was just a card of him saying like, hey, wherever you decide to go, like, good luck, Coach Murphy, just a nice little card. And so then I called him that morning and I told him that I was going to come to Alabama and he was so happy. I was with my parents when I called them, so it was just really, really cool.
Little did he know. Well, he probably knew. 3 years later, you take him to the Super Regional.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
You and your teammates. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let me see. What do you think worked best in part of this recruiting journey? What do you think worked best during the recruiting process in terms of communicating with the coaches prior to September 1st? You kind of said it.
Yeah.
They were communicating through coach.
I would say exposure is probably a really big thing, and that's exposure physically and then also through emails. So, and also exposure going to camps. I went to a lot of camps, and I will say I didn't go to Alabama camp, and I ended up at Alabama. So just because you don't get invited to a camp or you don't go to a camp at a school doesn't mean that school's out of the question for you. Because there were multiple schools that reached out to me where I had no idea they were interested in me or anything like that. But going to camps was really great. You got to get like a more personal experience with the coach, and then just seeing the facilities and everything. And then I sent emails probably 4 times a year to 30 plus schools and the assistants, head coaches, and then also just being on a team that put you in the best tournaments where the coaches were going to be at. Yep. You don't want to be on a team that isn't going to advocate for you. So I was very thankful that I was on a team pretty much my entire travel ball journey that advocated for me, put me in those high level tournaments, and my exposure was through the roof.
And really made you help you be. You're a competitor anyway, but you want to compete at the highest level, and that helped you too.
Yeah, and it prepares you when you go to the college level. I mean, nothing really prepares you for the college level, but you grew up playing against other caliber athletes
that are now in the SEC or
exactly
the teams that you play against. Great, super. Hey, thanks, Jocelyn. Now to you, Ava. So you finished your sophomore year in high school. Got a big summer coming up. So what was the club team you were playing for at that time?
I played for Rogue FCK.
Okay, Randy K's team,
yes.
Right? Yeah. And then what was the approach you were going to take going into that summer about your playing? What were you going to do?
Going into that summer, I relieved all the pressure off of my shoulders. I made sure to play the best competition. And like Jocelyn said earlier, it's really good to make sure you have that exposure in front of all those colleges. And I made sure to email a bunch of colleges, not just email your top 5 colleges, but also email your top 5 colleges and 20 plus other colleges, at least on the minimum. You can email as many colleges as you want.
Yep. And then the good news was Coach K had all the best coaches at your, because you were playing the best teams on the best fields. So that part was taken care of. They were there to watch you. You just played freely, even though you could see who was back there. You still.
Yes. So when I'm playing on the field, I tend to not look at the backstop and see who's watching, because if I were to do that, I would get in my head more. So I always blacked out all the coaches in the backstop, and then I will talk about it after the game with my parents and see who's back there watching me.
Oh, that's smart. That's smart. Okay, so then you finish that season, and then September 1st is coming up. Did you have any help, like any of the coaches say, hey, think about these questions, or they might ask you this, or what are you going to ask them about the college, about their college? Did you have any interaction like that, preparation?
Yes, I had a bunch of preparation. I prepped with my parents. My sister had this experience before me, so
she
it
had
was
experience
a lot.
Before you?
I don't know. Did you? So it was a lot easier because I was actually present with her when she was going through her September 1st, and we all recorded it on camera, so we could always go back and watch the film. So I expected what was going to happen, and me and my dad the night before, we wrote a bunch of questions down, so I was prepared for the calls with the coaches, questions I wanted to ask, or I was prepared for answers for questions they would ask me.
That's great.
I was always prepared.
Yeah, proper preparation prevents some type of a horrible performance.
Yeah, it's always good to be prepared.
Yeah, it's always good to be prepared. That's great. I've talked to coaches, and they said to me, "Oh, yeah, I had a call with this kid. She wasn't prepared."
Yeah.
So
you can definitely tell.
Yeah, you got to like as Coach Murphy ever said this, control the controllables. Yeah, so that's one thing that you can control on September 1st is do your homework, be prepared. They could ask me this. I want to ask this. Have a nice list, so you have a nice conversation going. It's not not knowing who's calling. Okay. Yeah, and I've heard a lot of coaches say that. You know, you can only control the controllables.
Yeah.
In a game, that's the reason why the game is so awesome is because everyone's trying to control the controllables, but stuff happens.
Yeah.
And it happens so fast.
Oh, so fast.
Right off
And
the
at
first
the college
inning.
level, it gets even faster.
Yeah. You show up to a baseball game, Major League Baseball game, you might get to see first pitch, and then you're getting your hot dog and your beverage, and something happens maybe, and you get to the 7th inning stretch, and maybe you have some drama at the end. But in softball,
you need to be aware every single.
Yeah, it could happen right now.
Game. Yes.
Yeah, right off the bat, right? It could be 4 runs scored in the first inning,
Yes.
and then it's battling then you get to the 5th, 6th, 7th, and then they tie the game, and then it's so exciting.
Yes.
Okay, so then September 1st happens, Ava. I got sidetracked. Okay, saw school. So, okay, Ava. So then September 1st comes, and how did it go? You got a few phone calls. How did it finally end up where Alabama called you, and then how did you set up the visit?
Yeah, so I did have a few phone calls at midnight. I had Alabama call me at midnight and a few other colleges. And for my visits, I went on my first visit to Kansas. It was a great experience. And then the difference between that is when I went to Alabama, Jocelyn, she did mention when you know, you know. When I went to Alabama, I had that feeling, and I knew that it was for me. And at the back of my head, like, I knew I always wanted to go to Alabama. And yes, a big reason was my sister was there, but that's not the full reason why. If I didn't like the school, I wouldn't have gone there just because my sister was there. I really liked the school chemistry. I liked how sport affiliated it was, because I like to go to those football games. Alabama's really good at football. They're really good at softball. That's a huge important key. And
You're good at a lot of things.
yes, they're really good at all their sports too. And it was just a really great experience I had. And on the way to, when I was there, the football game there was South Carolina versus Alabama. And on the way to that game, that is when I committed to Coach Murphy and I told him I wanted
Really?
to come here. Yes.
So on the way to the game, so how'd that set up? So you get there Friday night like you did, maybe?
Yes, you
I
got the
think so, yes.
yeah,
And Coach Murphy made it so somehow you probably had a softball game going on, a fall ball
Yeah,
game.
because they lined up her visit on a fall ball weekend. That way they could come watch us play softball games, which is really cool.
See, that's why Alabama's good at football and good at softball
Yeah.
because they set up these recruiting
Yeah.
visits to give you the wow
Wow,
experience.
yeah.
Like, wow, I got to see my sister play.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to go see them play the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then so you were they took you to the game. Tell me about that. And you said to him right away.
Yeah. So I talked to my dad on the side. I'm like, Dad, I really want to go here. And he was like, you can tell him whenever you want to. It's your decision. And I'm like, okay. 5 minutes later, I told the coaches I want to go here. Before we even got onto the bus.
That's awesome.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I committed, or I think it was right after I got off the bus, actually.
Sadly, I wasn't there to see this, but
You weren't there. You heard about it.
It was actually
Yeah.
right after I got off the bus. I told all the coaches. We took pictures together. It was so fun. And then at the football game, I got to experience sitting in the student section.
Now, that's good. That's awesome.
Yes.
When you told them and you got off the bus, how maybe how relieved were you going into that stadium, or how happy were you? You remember?
I was so happy, so relieved. I ended up with my dream college, and I felt pretty cool.
And then, yeah. And then Bama won that game.
They did.
Yeah.
Win. It was a very close game,
barely, but
but
they
they ended
won.
up winning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'd rather win fairly, and
Yes.
make a huge, ugly win
Yeah.
than a pretty loss.
Mhm.
Yes.
Take an ugly win anytime,
Mhm.
or a close win. That's awesome. And then, so at what point did your dad and your mom? Oh my gosh, my two daughters are going to Alabama.
They are so excited. Even my grandparents,
talk
all my
about it.
family, they're like, this makes our lives easier. Now we don't have to try to divide time up between going to different colleges. Like my senior year, her freshman year, they might just move out to Alabama in the spring and just so they can watch us.
Yeah, why would you want to?
Never talked about having two schools be a problem till after I committed. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're very excited.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great. What do you think worked best, Ava, in the recruiting process in terms of the coaches, communicating with coaches, letting who you said you emailed them? Did anything else work good for you during the recruiting process to get you to the point where you had a successful September 1st?
yes, I feel like an app that wasn't really used back then that is now used in today's technology is X.
X,
That was
yep.
used to be known
Twitter,
as Twitter.
X, yep.
Yes, and I posted all my highlights on Twitter, and a lot of colleges would come and look at those highlights. It's a great way to show colleges like how your great plays during a game, because when you email them, all you do is just like type words. You can't really send videos and pictures of how you play. So I think X is a really great way to show.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
a fantastic tip because really, think about it. A computer, an email. Think about the connotation or how you feel when you have to get on the computer to check your emails.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking for that one email, but man,
Yeah.
you got to get rid of all these emails.
Yeah.
On X, the coaches are at an airport or waiting for something, and they go through X, and oh my gosh, there's a DM from Ava Briski. What is it? Oh, she sent me a private video of her hit. Wow. Then you go to the feed, and they see all your hits there in videos. So it's a lot easier for them to look and communicate with you. So yeah, that's a wonderful tip.
Yes.
Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, so I'm going to stick on this number 3 question, the recruiting journey. I'm going to go to Jocelyn. Jocelyn, knowing what you know now, okay, what would you tell your younger self about the college softball recruiting process?
To have fun with it. I feel like you see so many more kids just experiencing that burnout now in softball, and part of me just wishes that I wasn't so stressed out and that I did have fun. And I did have fun, don't get me wrong. It's not like it was miserable, but I was so consumed in, does this college like me? Does this college like me? Oh my gosh, I need to do this better. What was that good enough? And I forgot that like the whole point of why I played softball in the first place was the friendships that I made, and because I enjoyed it, because I had fun on the field. And that's just something that I don't want any girl to ever lose, is their love for the game and the fun they had, because they're so stressed out about getting to a specific level or a certain point in their career.
Yeah, that's a good point because that's what the coaches. That's why they want to. That's what they want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Is they want to see somebody that loves the game
Yeah.
and plays the game.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in your head with other things, I always think that the best football players, or in this case, softball players, are the ones that take football. That when they were little and they were playing in the backyard and they were playing tackle football with no pads on and they were just having fun, compared to maybe like Sandlot softball, where you're just having fun. When you play with that kind of enjoy or like relaxation, where you're relaxed, you're just out there having fun, you tend to play your best. No matter if there's 20,000 people seeing you or 15,000 or 80,000, if you're just playing like you're in the backyard, you seem to play better.
And if you could just be a good teammate, you're going to do so well, because not only are you going to make yourself better by being a good teammate, you're going to make the people around you better. And your ultimate goal is to win and to have fun with it. And if you can just be a good teammate to those around you, it is going to spread.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome. Okay, and then Ava, knowing what you know now, what would you tell your younger Ava, maybe a year and a half ago, about the college recruiting process?
So I feel like I did really good through my summer of going into September 1st. But before that, like the summer before, I see a lot of girls tend to do this, where they put a lot of pressure on themselves, saying how I need to do really good in front of these coaches. I can't make a single mistake. If I make an error, I'm going to get crossed off their list. But in reality, those college coaches want to see you make an error and see how you bounce back from that error. And they want to see how you respond to those errors, not just physically, but emotionally. And it is always good to be a good teammate, because if you're not having the best day ever, that shouldn't mean anything to you, and you should still act like how you do if you are having the best day ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because we had a great athlete here. She goes to Dartmouth, Quinn Wilson. She says that she tries to incorporate this, and I think Torrance said it, going to Alabama. Mudita, I think Alabama does it, right? Can you explain it, Mudita?
Yes. So Mudita is having vicarious joy in other people's successes. And I truly think that the Mudita culture that is at Alabama is why Alabama is one of the most successful softball programs year after year after year. I mean, we have the most super regional appearances out of any NCAA softball team. So I think if you can learn to find your joy in other people and to celebrate them, it's just not being selfish. If you aren't selfish, your team is going to flourish. And if you can get everyone on board with that, I mean, just being so happy for someone else, I mean, it truly changes the culture and the lifestyle of a team.
Yeah. Being a part of something bigger than yourself,
exactly,
and celebrating it. And then, so that's a good point, Ava.
Add on to my answer, I would not stress about where you're going for college, because at the end of the day, you are going to go where you want to go, and you will find your perfect fit for your college. So I would not worry about, oh, what if I don't commit on time? Your September 1st to when you're leaving off to college is like 2 years. You have so much time to figure out where you want to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's wow, what a difference from when they used to commit in 8th grade to now September 1st to now, well, that fall of their junior year to now it's getting even stretched out further with the transfer portal and teams not knowing exactly what's shaking out.
Yeah.
So sometimes that decision gets prolonged a little bit, but really it might just be an advantage for the player, because they really get to develop those relationships with the coaches and really assess that school.
And you really change as an individual from 8th grade to your junior year.
Even after that, I mean, I would not be going to Alabama if I had to choose a school in 8th grade. It would have totally changed, and I don't know if I would have been happy at my junior year if I was still going to whatever school it would have been. So
good. I think it's both good for both sides.
Yes.
Coaches get to see, well, did they develop into the athlete that we thought they did, and then the person and the teammate. And that's awesome. Yeah, because at the end of the day, coaches want to coach players that they like, that they want to hang out with.
Yeah.
I mean, not hang out with personally, but be around day to day working, and you're having fun while you work.
A kid that's coachable, and you want to be able to have healthy conversations with them and to work with them.
Okay, Ava, what would you say? 2 more questions. What would you say are your personal keys to success?
I would say my personal keys to success are my work ethic, my good motor, and something that I've always had since I was a little kid is my aggressiveness. I've never needed to practice that on the side. It just naturally came to me, not only on the base path, but as my position as well. And I think another really great key to success is to be a good teammate to those around you too, because it could spread onto those other people, and you could not only change yourself, but it could also change the people around you, and it could create a very great chemistry around you as well.
Culture.
Culture.
Yeah. No, it's chemistry. Same thing. Chemistry and culture, same thing.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, no, it's culture, chemistry. It all works. And
Yes.
what I like is that when you match the work ethic, the aggressiveness, right, with talent,
Mm-hmm.
you got a P4 player,
Yes.
right? But also, if you just have the work ethic and the desire and you play with reckless abandon, you're going to play at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
You keep working hard, there's always going to be a spot for you. You know, sometimes athletes are fortunate and they're talented, but then that's just half the equation.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got to put the other half of the equation, which is the relentless hard work.
Yes.
So that's why I think hard work and talent creates, great players.
Mm-hmm.
I think not having talent, but outworking another talented team that's not working hard, you have a shot to beat them, to have an upset. So to have the combination of hard work that you have and talent, that's fantastic.
Yes.
So kudos to you for putting your part of the equation.
Thank you.
For your God-given talents that
Thank
you're
you.
doing. Yeah. And then, Jocelyn, what would you say are your personal keys to success?
I would say something that I work on a lot at school is the mental game. I feel like especially as a pitcher, it is so easy for pitchers to spiral. And something that I kind of take a lot of pride in is that I try to stay like pretty even keeled. Like I don't let my emotions get the best of me. I don't ever make the moment too big. And kind of what I want to work on a little bit more is not letting the emotions get too low and kind of just staying here. And that's something that I feel like really helps me as a person is kind of just like a I don't care kind of mentality. Not that I don't care, but I don't let things get too big and like the moment get too big. So like when it's those pressure situations, like it's easy for me to kind of just stay in like the zone and everything. So, and we do mental training all the time as a bullpen in Alabama. I mean, we would go into the classroom for an hour during practice and we'd use that time and just work on mental training. Our pitching coach would have slideshows and we'd read books and listen to podcasts about mental training. And I feel like that just really helped. And we would meet with our sports psychologist sometimes. So it was just really, really cool stuff that they gave us to help elevate our mental game.
That's great. That's awesome. I read a book. It's called It Takes What It Takes. And it basically, it's like a mental psychologist, sports psychologist.
Yeah.
Basically says if you want to be a great athlete, you really don't have that many choices.
Yeah.
You have to eat right. You can't stay up late. Yeah, you got to train. You got to work hard. All that kind of stuff. So the fact that you guys they have it all there at Alabama, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty
Sports
great there.
Psychologist, the nutrition, the training.
Yeah.
Now your sister.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then the last question here. I like this one. On game day, I'll start with Jocelyn. On game day, what's on your playlist? What do you listen to? And what, if you had a choice, what would be one of your favorite walk-up songs?
So we do get a walk-up song as a pitcher. Mine's Man-Eater by Nelly. That one I feel like it goes well with who I am, I guess, but it's one of my favorite walkout songs. And then I listen to a lot of worship music before a game. I feel like it just really reminds me that no matter what happens on the field, I still have God by my side. So I like to kind of just listen to worship music. It kind of calms me down, doesn't get me too amped up, and just like makes me feel happy.
That's good. Yeah. That's one of the things in the book, What It Takes, What It Takes. The author's father, and he was a great motivational speaker, said, no stinking thinking. Don't listen to country music. Don't watch national news. Don't listen to, did I say country music already?
Yes.
Yeah, don't listen to country music. And he would, one of his clients, an NFL quarterback, would listen to, I wouldn't say it was gospel music, but it was spiritual, uplifting music all the time, because it does have an effect on your psyche. If you're listening to positive stuff.
Yeah.
That's good that you brought that up.
Yeah.
Good. And you said your walk-up song, and it's like, it's perfect. And I agree with that. You don't want something that hypes you up so much that you forget what you're doing.
Yeah.
They got the signal and that comes in and
like getting hyped up just isn't my thing, and I'm trying to slowly implement like a good celebration here and there, but I just like staying like at one steady level. I feel like it helps me perform at my best.
Good. Okay, Ava, and then Ava, what do you listen to on your playlist? She's gonna say, I listen to Metallica. no, I don't care what you listen to, but what do you listen to on your playlist on game day? And then what would be one of your favorite walk-up songs?
I listen to a lot of rapping. pop. I also started listening to country the past couple months. I've never been a country kind of girl,
Yeah.
but I've noticed I've been starting to listen to country a lot more. And I don't really have a walk-up song, but my favorite song to hype me up on a game day is Mr. Brightside by the
Oh
Killers.
yeah.
Yes. And I'm actually, fun fact, I'm actually going to a country concert tomorrow.
It's crazy.
I bet you I know which one it is. Lainey Wilson.
Lainey Wilson, yes.
Yes.
That is
No,
correct.
I said that about country music, but because they say if you play it backwards, you know, you get your dog back, you get your wife
Yeah.
back, your truck's
Yeah.
fixed. But actually, I mean, I love country music. You know, it's awesome, and so much of it's got a cool, nice vibe to it.
I'm really
Yeah.
definitely starting to enjoy country music more, and I hope I would like country music if I'm going to Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that Lainey Wilson concert tomorrow night. It's gonna be
Yes.
fun.
It will be fun.
Yep.
Yes.
Might see somebody else there, not me, but you know, Brooke might be there.
Really?
Yeah, she's going.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
you might
cool.
see her. So hey, that wraps up the show. You guys have been awesome.
Awesome. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much
us.
for
This
having
has been
us.
great.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have a great fall season.
Thank
You
you.
know, just ramp it up, and then you usually come home for Christmas, right? Long
I'll come
Christmas.
home for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So.
Okay, great.
yeah.
And then Ava, have an awesome national schedule. What Tennessee Mojo? It's basically an all SEC team. I think you have,
Yes.
you know, Coach. I was talking to Coach Ramsey. He called it the crowd pleaser team. You got 3 girls going to Tennessee, 2 going to Ole Miss. You're going 2 to 1 to Alabama or 2
It
Alabama.
used to be 2 last year, now
It's
1.
just you, yeah. And then you got 2 Duke players, so it's basically the whole southeast part of the country.
Very
on that team.
SEC affiliated.
Yeah.
Yes.
So good. Have fun. You guys going anywhere particular for your
Over the
club
fall?
over the fall?
We have one Tennessee tournament. We play in Florida, and then there's another tournament. I always forget where it's at.
And then you come back here.
Georgia.
I think it may be in Georgia too. And then we have one Arizona tournament, which is in January in the winter.
Easy
And
last
that will be my
class.
last Arizona hometown tournament.
Yeah.
Oh,
So hey, have a great time. And Jocelyn, we'd love to have you back maybe next fall when,
yeah.
or maybe that Christmas break when she's had her first fall ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
have you guys back. So thank you so much for being part of the show.
Yeah. Thank you.
so much for having
you.
me.
You're welcome. I'm Javier with AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast. Thank you for watching. I always forget to ask this in the beginning, but if you like what you see, please follow us on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, and now and then I put some stuff on TikTok too. So thanks for watching.